Today, we're going over 5 things that I do pretty consistently that not only help me with my productivity, but also leave me feeling like I actually have the energy left to do other things in my life. And of course, it's YouTube, so the mandatory bonus tip is at the end. If you enjoy the video or find it helpful in some way, then don't forget to like and subscribe. And of course, if you have habits or tips that you want to share, then leave them down in the comments below and let's dive in. More than half of all businesses have their productivity impacted on a daily or weekly basis due to access issues. That's where today's sponsor NordPass comes in, an intuitive and easy to use password manager. It provides the ability to securely store passwords, pins, keys, and share information securely with your team to make collaboration easy. You can also give, review, and revoke access in just a few clicks. And because it's easy to set up and uses an intuitive interface, your colleagues will be using it from day one. You can secure your business effortlessly today with a 3-month free trial by using the Cybermentor activation code at nordpass.com/cybermentor. And of course, there is a link in the description below. So let's start with one that helps you get started, and this tip is kind of a double one. So first up, if something is going to take less than 5 minutes, then the rule is you do it immediately. If you let small tasks like replying to emails or making a quick edit to a document build up, then they're going to eventually morph into something that you really don't want to take on, and they'll get pushed back until somebody chases you or they just don't get done at all, which is of course not ideal. The second part of this rule is that if you don't feel like starting something, then set a 5-minute timer and do it for just 5 minutes. More often than not, you'll use the momentum and you'll keep going. So the most difficult part of getting stuff done is out of the way. I find this particularly useful when I'm coming back to something that I've already started and made good progress with, but I hit a section that is more complicated or a setback that is going to take some more time to resolve. Getting started here is often the most difficult part. Usually I take a break and then come back, and with the 5-minute rule, off we go and productivity is reignited. Back when I was working as a dev, when I had a list of things to do, generally I went through it and did all of the easy things first, which took less than 5 minutes, and seeing that list shrink over time really helps my motivation, and I hope it helps you get on with things too. Next up, we have the focus timer, and the classic example of this is the Pomodoro technique. 25 minutes of focus and then 5 minutes of chill. I've been using this technique for many years now and gradually actually made my focus time longer, so now I go for about 90 minutes of focus and then 10 minutes of break. This can apply to study, work that requires focus, or just a way to help you stay on a task during these bouts of focus, and I generally switch my desktop notifications off. My Discord, Slack, email, and everything else is either minimized or on a separate monitor that I don't really look at, and generally speaking, my mobile phone is always on silent anyway. If you need to be reachable for any reason, then just switch off all your social media and other notifications and leave on the ones that are actually important. No excuses for I need to be reachable at all hours of the day being used when Twitter pops up and takes your attention away from the task at hand. Only keep the notifications that you actually need, and don't fall for the FOMO or fear of missing out that every single mobile app ever made tries to batter you with. Don't even get me started on social media platforms. Unless it's your job and you're using it as a part of your personal brand, check it once a day and then switch the notifications off. Your mental health will thank you for it in the long run. So next up, we have daily and weekly goals. You can go further than this if you want to, but since we're kind of focused on day-to-day productivity, then I think this is enough to cover. Every Friday, I write out my plans for the next week, which I've shown in previous videos before, and this helps me organize my thoughts and helps me relax a little bit more over the weekend. When Monday rolls around, I spend about 5 minutes just checking in on what's a priority, what needs to be done and when, and arrange my tasks for that day and week accordingly. And then I just get started. Generally speaking, I'll have some goals for the month or quarter, which might be something like releasing a new course, but Often, I don't go beyond that until I close a project or move on to the next one. In a previous role, I was managing multiple teams and projects in different parts of the world, so having quarterly and yearly plans was of course more important, but at that point you're probably looking more into project and program management, but in this case they are both, ironically, every project manager's favorite thing, which is out of scope for this video. So I've probably mentioned a few things that I do consistently in the morning, like organizing my tasks for the day, and this is generally part of the morning routine that I have. Personally, I get up early and feed the cats at 6 a.m. and do other things like shower and brush my teeth, and after a quick rundown of what I have for the day, I get in a block of work, usually done before 9 a.m. Now, a lot of people go to the gym, have a commute, or have kids to get off to school in the morning, and that's totally fine. But ideally, you'll have some kind of routine to help you get through it without too much stress or using up too much energy. If you can, set up your morning routine so that it can be done on pretty much autopilot, then you're saving a lot of your mental energy for the rest of the day. Tied to our morning routine is also good sleep habits, and this is a huge rabbit hole that we could fall into, but if you can get a set sleep schedule where you go to bed at the same time and wake up at the same time and avoid disrupting this pattern as much as possible, then you're going to consistently function at a much higher level. A lot of people in the neuroscience world talk about how sleep is our superpower, and it really is. But as with anything in life, consistency is key. If you only take away one thing from this video, getting into good sleep habits is going to give you the biggest return on your time investment in terms of all aspects of your life. And finally, number 5, step away from your desk, and if you're like me, working fully remote, then leave the house at least once a day. I used to have a bad habit of working and then staying at my desk later on and watching Netflix or playing games as a way to unwind and relax, but physically stepping away, I've found, has helped me so much when it comes to unwinding and switching off from other things. If you're following a timer like we talked about before, then of course you can use the break times to go make some tea, coffee, or just stretch your legs. And if you can get outside at lunchtime, then that's ideal. One of the reasons I start work early in the morning is because I tend to take an extended lunch break. I often go to the gym or do my weekly food shopping and things like this, and a couple of hours in the middle of the day where I don't need to rush around. I can just switch off and do the things that I need to do at my own pace when the shops or the gym aren't as busy as usual is ideal. I know everyone's situation is different, so you'll need to figure out something that works for you, but try and keep to the general principle of getting away from your desk or leaving the house at least once a day as a guideline, and work it in however you can. And finally, we come to the bonus tip, and that is to avoid stacking dopamine. Now, dopamine is a bit of a buzzword right now, and if you're following the latest research, then you'll know that it does have a lot to do with motivation. So when I go to the gym, especially if I go in the morning, I avoid blasting music and getting hyped up and trying for a personal best every single session. If I do this, I'm using a ton of dopamine from the music, from the effort, from the way I'm thinking at the time, and for the rest of the day, I'm kind of done. I'm not productive, and I feel like I just want to chill and I have no motivation. This also happens when you first start out as well, by the way. So if you're new to running or going to the gym or something like that, you'll use up a lot of dopamine, and once again, you'll feel like you're done for the day because it's a big deal and it's a big shock to your system. But over time, your body and mind adapts. If I do the same routine, but I put on my headphones and listen to a podcast instead, or listen to some more relaxing music and just aim to do my sets and think about making sure I rest between them and think about the long-term goals I'm achieving with my consistency, then I'm setting myself up for a productive day and I'm able to continue and get things done and be happy and content. Now, everyone is a little bit different, but I hope this gives you some interesting insights that you might be able to apply to your work and also the rest of your life. And that's it for this video. If you're wondering what podcasts I listen to, then it's mostly the Missed Apex F1 podcast and also the Huberman Lab. I hope you enjoyed the video, and I will catch you next time.